It's Leadership Development Coach Kathy Archer. Today we are moving on to the types of goals you might want to develop when you're creating your life plan. Last week we talked about the need to develop a life plan and intentionally or deliberately create your life rather than just letting life show up and hand you whatever it does and live your life by default. So if you want to create the life you want and be intentional about it, then you got to set some goals. But there are some different kinds of goals, and there's some that perhaps you haven't thought about or you haven't thought about this through. And I wanted to just kind of walk you through some different types of goals. First, there's internal goals and external goals. External goals are the ones that we normally think about. They're things that we achieve or accomplish outside of us. I want to lose weight. I want to save money. I want to advance my career. They're kind of the tangible things that you can hold on to, work towards, tick off when they're done, right? The internal goals are more things in here and in here. What am I learning or growing or developing or changing within me? So last year, I gave up the whole idea of losing weight because I thought I've tried it for a couple of years. I couldn't kind of lose that last 5 or 10 pounds that I was going for. What I decided to do was change my willpower, my self-discipline. And so rather than my thoughts being, I don't have the strength of will, I can't resist those chips in the pantry, I started to think about, how can I think about this differently? Maybe I can resist the chips in the pantry or the Ritz crackers or the pretzels or all those things that are calling my name. And it was that shift inside that helped me to then change some of my eating habits, which then led to the successful dropping of those last 5 or 10 pounds that I wanted to lose. But it was an internal goal. It wasn't that external thing that I wanted to grab onto or hold. It was something inside of me that I had to shift or change. And so it's those external versus internal goals that I want you to think about. Are you trying to advance your career and apply on the next position? Or are you trying to develop a skill to work with difficult people or look at how you manage conversations differently? Or are you looking at being more self-disciplined around time management versus stopping going to meetings and attending all of the different things? So think about the internal versus the external. The second thing to think about is it actually a goal I'm developing that I can tick off when I accomplish it? Or is it a habit I'm creating that I probably want to do for the rest of my life? So again, I can look at, am I going to lose weight or am I going to take 10,000 steps a day and create that habit of taking those steps every day and using a pedometer? Maybe the goal is to advance in my career and to apply on the next position. Maybe the habit I'm creating is the habit around lifelong learning, that I'm always going to either be taking a course or reading a book, that I'm always going to be increasing my skills within me, regardless of what position I am in my career. Perhaps the goal is work-life balance, but the habits I'm creating are maybe I'll start to leave my cell phone in the other room when I'm with my family more often. Or perhaps the habit that I'll create is rather than leaving at 6 every night, I'll be leaving at 5 every night. And that's something you're going to do for the rest of your life. That it's not something I'm going to do and then stop doing. So just think about that. Is it a goal that I want to accomplish, tick off, achieve, or is it a habit I'm creating that I want to do forever? Neither is right or wrong or good or better. It's just that recognize they're different things, right? And often the way to think about the difference is it something that once I accomplish it, I'm done and I don't ever have to do it again? Or is it something I want to do for the rest of my life that's going to help me perhaps achieve those things that I want to tick off? So then I want you to think about, what are the goals that I want to work on in the next 6 to 12 months? And think about maybe 5 to 7 areas that you want goals, no more than that. Maybe it's only 1 or 2 or 3 for you. You might have goals in different areas of your life. You might have some goals around your health and wellness. You might have some goals around relationships or your career or finances. You might have goals around personal development. You might have goals around your fun and your recreation and your hobbies and that kind of, that part of you that wants a little bit more to life than just work and, doing the laundry and making supper. Just think about some of those areas and maybe you'll develop a goal or a habit in each one of those areas that's going to help you achieve the life that you desire, to create this life by design rather than just living it by default and having whatever shows up. Coming up next week, we're going to start talking about how to take those goals and develop a plan to achieve them. So think about, what are the goals I need to establish? What are some habits I want to make? Look at those 5 to 7 areas perhaps that you want to make those changes in, and start writing out those goals so that you can create the life you want today. If you are looking to increase your confidence, you may be interested in my new book, Mastering Confidence: Discover Your Leadership Potential by Awakening Your Inner Guidance System. You can find it on Amazon or click on my website and I'll share the link with you.